Big Meech thought teaming up with Rick Ross was a power move, but he's quickly learning that loyalty in the industry is nothing but an illusion. After turning his back on 50 Cent and siding with Ross, Meech walked out of prison expecting support only to be met with betrayal. At first, Ross welcomed him with open arms, making big promises to help him get back on his feet. But when those plans fell apart, Ross wasted no time cutting ties and going back to his own circle. Now, Meech is left standing alone, realizing the game isn't what it used to be. But what made Rick Ross switch up so fast? And could 50 Cent be the one pulling the strings behind the scenes? This story runs deeper than it seems, and it's about to take a wild turn. They say what goes around comes around, and Big Meech is learning that lesson the hard way. After years behind bars, he thought he was about to make a major comeback. Instead, he's stepping into a world that's left him behind, with no real allies in sight. The man he turned his back on, 50 Cent, is thriving off the BMF brand, while the one he ran to, Rick Ross, is acting like they were never even close. But here's the twist. Ross might have played the role of a snake, whispering in Meech's ear and turning him against 50, but in the end, he may have done 50 the biggest favor of all. Because let's be real, if Meech could turn on 50 that easily after everything 50 has done to keep his name alive with the BMF show, then maybe he was always bound to expose himself.
Put your back against the wall and just slide down. You already know, car show going down June 7th. Get online right now, get your tickets right now. But for the hustlers, I want y'all to understand, you gotta stop making business personal.
Now, word on the streets is that Meech is scrambling, looking for someone to blame after his legacy concert flopped. No one stepped up to help him back on his feet. And who's the easiest target? The man who hyped him up, then left him high and dry, Rick Ross. If you really break it down, Big Meech was never more than a pawn in Rick Ross' game. Ross didn't team up with Meech out of loyalty. He had one goal in mind: to humiliate 50 Cent and claim the BMF legacy for himself. But the moment things got messy, Ross disappeared, leaving Meech stranded with nothing but regrets. Now Meech is out here playing the victim. But the truth is, he played himself. And in the streets, switching sides just because someone flashes a little. Money is the fastest way to lose everything. But how deep does this betrayal really go? And is 50 Cent just sitting back, watching it all unfold with a grin, knowing he got rid of a snake without even lifting a finger? Some say 50 might be had a hand in shutting down Big Meech's Welcome Back concert. But let's be real, why would he even need to? Meech was already digging his own grave. The snitching rumors were already floating around. And that so-called legacy concert, it was giving desperation more than anything else. If there's one thing 50 Cent knows how to do, it's sight back and let his enemies destroy themselves.
I never folded, never told, never will. Death before the sun.
Just 2 hours before the show was set to start, the Amaret Bank Arena pulled the plug out of nowhere. Their official statement was short and brutal. Due to unforeseen circumstances, tonight's show has been canceled. Refunds will be made at the point of purchase. No explanation, no warning, just pure humiliation for Big Meech. And guess who was watching it all unfold? Like he saw it coming from a mile away? 50 Cent. Even before the concert was announced, 50 had been telling everyone it would never happen. Now that he's been proven right, he's doing exactly what he does best, playing the pettiest villain in the game. 50 Cent couldn't resist posting that canceled flyer, like it was his latest Grammy with a caption so smooth. It practically came with a cigar and a gold chain. I had nothing to do with this. Please stop calling my phone. I sincerely hope you have a nice day today. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm stronger than you think I am. Now, if you believe that, I've got a bridge to sell you in Brooklyn. 50 doesn't deny anything. He just makes sure you know he's always 2 steps ahead. And just when you think he's done, he hops back on Instagram with an apologetic act.
And we 2 days away from the Big Meech concert. Get your tickets right now. Make sure everybody flying to the city for this. It's gonna be huge.
If you bought an outfit and were ready to turn up, I apologize for whoever's responsible. Let's get to that. Classic 50 always keeping his enemies guessing while making sure they know who's really in control. Now that's pure villain behavior. But the real knockout came when a fan accused 50 Cent of shutting the whole event down. 50 reposted the accusation with a reply that had the internet buzzing. I apologize for your trip to Miami, but they've been playing with me. So, let's build when y'all get back to the city. At this point, 50 is playing chess while everyone else is still stuck trying to roll the dice. Meanwhile, Big Meech is scrambling, looking for someone to blame, but the truth is, he played himself. Rick Ross set him up, 50 washed his hands of the situation. And now, Meech is left standing alone with no concert, no support, and no way to fix the mess he's found himself in. At the end of the day, Big Meech is left with nothing. Sure, he's out of prison, but 50 Cent? He's done with him. No more loyalty, no more support, and definitely no more backing for Meech's family. And speaking of the family, Let's not forget the main breadwinner Lil Meech, who just lost his job.
Look,
But
I do want to do a BMF film because you've been entertained by a lackluster, small budget series. Now it's time to do a big budget film.
Lil Meech tried to pull the loyalty card on 50 to keep the concert alive, but that move backfired. Season 4 of BMF canceled, and it's easy to see why. 50 Cent didn't hold back and recently exposed Lil Meech's private text messages, which quickly became the center of the storm. In the messages, Lil Meech claims he'd give 50 the shirt off his back, all while defending his father's ties to Rick Ross. But the real jaw-dropper? Lil Meech admitted that Rick Ross had been covering Big Meech's bills until the next season of BMF came around. The situation just keeps getting messier. Lil Meech was clearly hurt when he found out what was going on behind his back. He vented, saying, "They just told me you unfollowed me on Instagram, and now you're managing Skillababy with Rocket when I brought him around you. At first, you didn't even have a clue who he was. Now you're mad at me? I would take the shirt off my back for you. I can believe this. Man, you act like I'm your enemy when I've only ever shown you love and loyalty. I go through my own struggles, but I never switched up on you. F. Ross." But he gave my dad some bread so he could afford to pay his bills until our next season starts.
Y'all gonna be disappointed when Lil Baby don't show up? When Skilla don't show up? When Vizzo don't show up? When all these show up?
In the end, Big Meech didn't just align himself with 50. Cent's biggest rival is now financially dependent on Rick Ross. Ross is clearly pulling strings behind the scenes supporting Meech financially, while subtly driving a wedge between him and 50 Cent. It's a dangerous game and Meech is finding out the hard way. The game didn't hold back either, stepping in to call out Lil Meech for not showing the loyalty that BMF deserves. He blasted him, saying, "Just saw a text from Lil Meech to 50 that got me dying. Hey Lil Meech, you were supposed to be like, F this BMF. I'm standing with my pops. Now me and Fifth got our own issues, but that's on pause while I post this." Of course, 50 responded with his usual coldness, saying, "What's your little egg gonna do? Man, I almost spit my water out. What happened to all that gangsta talk, Meech? You can't let 50 come for you like that and not fire back. It's clear he's in a whole different league when it comes to this petty drama." 50 Cent is sitting back, watching his enemy self-destruct without even lifting a finger. What started as rumors about snitching has now spiraled into something big. Meech is beginning to look more like a pawn in his own legacy, while Rick Ross pulls the strings and 50 observes from the sidelines.
Big
Before
Meech's
this giant welcome home concert
I told you it was gonna get
canceled.
What'd I tell you?
The bill was
What did I
insane.
say?
The list of artists on it was
The BMF legacy is slowly unraveling, and 50 is letting things play out naturally. Everyone saw the concert failure coming except for the Meeches. Lil Meech, the one person who was supposed to uphold the BMF legacy, is now turning against the very man who gave him his career, his platform, and a lifeline while his father was behind bars. Instead of standing firm, he's caught in the middle of a mess that could have been avoided altogether. Meanwhile, 50 Cent isn't holding back. He's taking direct shots at Big Meech's parenting, calling him out for how he handled Lil Meech's future. And recently, an old social media post resurfaced, showing Lil Meech hanging out with Rick Ross's daughter. Toy Roberts, another reminder of how deep the ties between the Rosses and the Meeches have become. This feud between 50 Cent and Rick Ross stretches back years, and 50 Cent hasn't held back in expressing his thoughts. He recently questioned why Rick Ross, who now seems to be closely linked to Big Meech, never stepped in to help Lil Meech when he needed it most. According to 50, while Ross and his circle did nothing to help Lil Meech's career, he himself was the one who financially supported Lil Meech's dreams, even paying for his acting school to help him make a name in the industry. 50 didn't stop there. He called out Big Meech for his priorities, claiming that instead of focusing on his son's future, Meech returned home acting like a larger-than-life figure the Black Pablo Escobar and ended up sabotaging his son's potential. This has now escalated beyond a simple rap rivalry. It's become a matter of betrayal.
I can't believe a stand-up dude during his time would suddenly say, "I don't want to be here no more. I'm gonna become a rat."
Big Meech, once supported by 50 Cent, made choices that distanced him even further. The damage has been done, and 50 is making sure everyone knows he doesn't forget a thing. The tension between 50 Cent and Rick Ross adds another explosive layer to an already chaotic situation. Their feud goes all the way back to 2008, with diss tracks, legal battles, and a notorious lawsuit that cost 50 a staggering $7 million. Ross fired another shot last year, calling 50 broke. But anyone who knows 50 understands that he doesn't let anything slide, and neither does Gene Deal, who's been right in the middle of it all. Now, the drama is escalating in a way that could affect more than just their ego sits, putting 50's business in jeopardy. Rumor has it that this could be the final season of BMF, the show tied to 50's $150 million deal with Stars. Most people would crumble walking away from that kind of money, but not 50. He's all about playing the long game. If he built it once, he'll do it again. After all, when you cross him, there's no turning back.
Up by one of his best friends, which is Demetrius Flannery, also known as Big Meech.
This is where things take a darker turn. 50 Cent didn't just throw out the snitch allegations without reason. Rumors about Big Meech cutting a deal with the feds have been circulating for quite some time. Long before 50 even dropped that DM, there were already whispers suggesting that Meech might have flipped. At the heart of these rumors is Tammy, Coensa woman Meech once called a close friend, but who had a reputation as a federal informant. Allegedly, Tammy played a crucial role in helping Meech negotiate the deal that shortened his prison sentence. But let's be real, Meech wasn't walking out of prison early without giving up something big in return. And that something? It was his longtime friend and business partner.
In 2011, around that time, Meech reached out to my dad in regards to creating a BMF movie.
Dion Gatling, also known as Cuffy of Meech's closest allies. Meech and Cuffy had been close for years, running their business together long before Meech was locked up. But things took a devastating turn when Cuffy's daughter, Tamara Gatling, revealed that their entire family was blindsided by the truth it was Meech who had set Cuffy up. They didn't put the pieces together until they identified one of the confidential informants involved in the case. And guess who kept popping up in the paperwork? Big Meech. It gets even more complicated. To smooth things over, Meech had personally introduced Cuffy to Tammy Cowens, who wasn't just some random person in the mix. At the time, Tammy was Meech's power of attorney and had the rights to his life story. Cuffy, trusting his longtime friend, thought he was stepping into a legitimate business opportunity, but instead, he ended up behind bars.
Playing with dude. We're playing with dude. You know, I'm gonna say that much. Over and out. I catch y'all when I catch y'all.
As the discovery documents started pouring in, it quickly became clear that CS1, the confidential informant, was Tammy Cowens. But everyone knew that Tammy wasn't acting on her own. She was moving only with Meech's approval. When the Gatling family confronted Meech about the betrayal, he dismissed it, claiming it was just a big misunderstanding. But the more they dug, the clearer the picture became. While Tammy may have been the one wearing the wire, there's no way she was doing it without Meech's backing. In the end, it was Cuffy who took the fall while Meech walked free. The whole situation showed that all the talk about loyalty and brotherhood didn't mean a thing when the feds came knocking. Despite all the evidence coming to light, some people are still scrambling to defend Big Meech. Enter Young Buck, who jumped into the mix, trying to defend Meech as if this was his last chance to stay relevant. But anyone who knows 50 Cent knows he's not the type to offer second chances.
So BMF is BMF, but not because of 50, it's because of Big Meech, right? That's his story, that's his life, right? So I don't think 50 doing him no favors. They both profited, right?
His response? Unforgiving. He wasted no time roasting Young Buck, bringing up his past controversies and dragging him without mercy. This fool fell out with me because he liked boys, 50 Cent wrote. I didn't tell him to go loving on a tranny. He couldn't resist like that, Bussy.
I don't mean I owe you no loyalty. That mean I can't go get money elsewhere, right? If more money get presented to me, right, I'm gonna go get me a bag. I just did 20 years in prison, right? I'm not gonna let nobody stop no bags come in because of y'all beef, bro.
As expected, the backlash came fast, with critics accusing 50 of being a culture vulture and stirring up drama just to mess with promotions. But when you really look at it, who's actually benefiting from all this chaos? Both sides have profited heavily from the BMF name. Big Meech's story became a hit TV series, cementing his legacy for a new generation. On the other hand, Lil Meech owes his career to 50 Cent's support, which gave him the opportunity to thrive. Yet somehow, 50 Cent is the one catching heat for calling out the truth. At the heart of this entire situation is something bigger than fame or promotions, it's loyalty. And anyone who knows 50 Cent understands that he doesn't tolerate betrayal. He stood by the BMF family, gave Lil Meech a shot, and helped him carve out a path that went beyond just being his father's son. But as soon as it suited them, they turned their backs. Now, 50 is making it clear there's no turning back from this. Lil Meech is now facing the reality of his mistake. Despite all the opportunities 50 Cent gave him, putting him on, covering his acting school fees, and building his career while his father was behind bars, Lil Meech turned on him. And now, the consequences are catching up to him. How bad has it gotten? The same Lil Meech who once lived a luxurious lifestyle on board the BMF set is now asking for small-time promotions for just $500. That's a fraction of what 50 was paying him. In one moment, he was living the dream in Hollywood, and now he's left scrambling for small jobs just to get by. You already know 50 Cent isn't letting this go. If there's one thing about him, it's that he always gets the last laugh. What's unfolding now is quickly becoming one of the most chaotic betrayals in hip-hop. Big Meech always preached loyalty until the people he trusted started playing both sides. Now, with Rick Ross siding with 50 Cent and Lil Meech scrambling for small change, it seems like the whole BMF legacy is crumbling before our eyes. But what do you think? Did Big Meech bring this on himself by turning on his own? Or is 50 just putting the truth out there that everyone's been too afraid to say?